I do like to program and build things, but a big reason I built a desktop computer was to game on it. And with that, I usually swap my keyboard and mouse for something a bit different to just optimize the experience. For about a year now, I've been using the Wooting 80HE, and I've been loving the switches. Like changing directions in games is noticeably different to me. Although I've been kind of missing having arrow keys to be able to enter stratagems, for instance, in Helldivers 2, or the function keys at the top. Like I'm just missing F12 to be able to take a screenshot on Steam. So when Wooting emailed me about the 80HE, which is a 80% keyboard with the function keys, with the arrow keys, I just jumped on it. So today we'll be unboxing and reviewing the 80HE by Wooting. Okay, just before unboxing, let's look at the prices. So there's actually a bunch of configuration you can do on the website. You can choose a case between a plastic case or a zinc alloy case. You can choose your own keycaps or switches. A lot to pick from. Now for me, I love transparent tech, so I got the Ghost color, which is a transparent black case. And I paid £187 on pre-order a few months ago. Now it's actually £185, so they decreased the price a bit. And this in dollars would be $199.99. I also got a wrist rest with it. So the wrist rest was an additional £28, and it would be an additional $29.99. If you opt for the zinc alloy case, it would be an extra £84 or an extra $90. Okay, let's unbox this thing. The box looks clean, and I really like the ASCII art on it. Slightly embossed also with a logo. Nice, straight to the keyboard when you open it. I see that most of the packaging material is also in cardboard, so it's going to be amazing to recycle afterwards. I like that, you don't even have to read the manual. We saved you the trouble from reading a super boring paper manual. You can quickly get started by visiting Wooting Quick Start. I mean, I'm hoping the setup is pretty much just the same as the 60HE, so I'm probably not going to read the manual. I assume the manual is right here. It's like in a nice envelope. Oh, it's actually just a postcard. Greetings from Wooting. Cute. Remove this dust cover. The keyboard. It looks nice. It is a plastic case, but I really like the transparent color. I just like being able to see the PCB inside tech. It looks so cool. Okay, we'll take a closer look in a moment. What else do you get? A braided USB-C cable with a USB-C to USB-A adapter. That's a nice cable. Like that's a cable you might actually want to use on a day-to-day basis versus like just a plastic cable. I don't think there's anything else in the box, so yeah, let's just take a look at the bags. There's a bunch of things inside. With those rubber feet, you can customize your typing angle, so you have 6 degrees or 10 degrees. You also get some additional keycaps. I see A1, A2, A3. So that's probably if you want to have some generic macro keycaps. So you also get a keycap and switch puller. It doesn't look that great, so I don't think I'll be using it. I might just use some of my wire keycap puller. They look a bit better than this. Switches to try out. So I got the keyboard with the Leica 60 switches. And you also get a Leica 45 to try out. They are magnetic switches, so if you look at the bottom of one, you'll be able to see the magnet inside. So this is the biggest reason to get a keyboard like this. You're going to be able to customize your actuation points. Okay, Enough with the accessories, let's look at this keyboard. It doesn't feel too heavy, and I think that's mostly because of the case. With this transparent case, it might not feel as dense as the zinc alloy case. You're able to see through and see all the signatures at the back of the keyboard. It's pretty nice. You get your standard USB-C port for the cable. There are the rubber feet that you can swap out. Overall, I'm quite happy. I think the transparent case makes the keyboard unique. The curvatures of the case on the side and the front make the keyboard look a bit different. But I think if you got this one in just solid color, you might be a bit disappointed. There's nothing too special about the keycaps either. We'll see how well the light shines through, but it's just like your standard font and design in this cherry layout. Let's compare the sound with the 60HE. I think sound-wise I've improved a lot, although it's not quite there yet. Feeling-wise it's okay. I prefer the bump of a tactile switches for programming and just writing text, but this is fine for gaming. Okay, with that, let's plug it in and try it out. RGB! Yes. Okay, let's try out Wooting 80HE. You have to connect your keyboard. Oh, there's a firmware update. Let's try it out. Look at that, it's cute. Amazing, after this firmware update, the RGB lighting is working with Signal RGB. Yes! So you can do a bunch of things with this Wooting 80HE online tool. You can remap all of your keys, obviously. You can create different profiles. Maybe you want one for typing, one for gaming. I just want one for gaming. I don't care so much about swapping profile. I've tried typing on the Wooting 60HE. I didn't like it so much. You can also change the actuation points, either for all the keys or one key at a time. So if you select all the keys, then you can change how far down you need to press on the key before it registers. Now for rapid trigger, it's enabled by default. What this feature is if you want to quickly press on a key, you don't need to release the key completely before you can press it again. If you have this enabled while typing, it's gonna be terrible. You're gonna make many mistakes with keys being pressed twice. But for gaming, it's gonna be really good. If you want to quickly move your character left to right, it's gonna be so much more responsive than without rapid trigger. Now you can also customize the RGB of the keyboard within the Wooting 80HE software. I'm gonna be using Signal RGB, so I don't care too much. Maybe I'll set the light indicator to a solid color so it doesn't stand out so much. This is why Wooting is not using the QMK firmware or the VIA online tool. For a keyboard with magnetic switches, you need a whole different application for it. It's worth mentioning that Wooting also has a different software that you install on your computer if you want to bind macros to your keyboard. And it's a pretty good software. It's completely open sourced and it's built with Rust, so it's pretty efficient too. Alright, with that, let's install it on the main desk and let's see how the whole setup looks like. You can also switch profile directly on the keyboard. And just like that, I can remap my keys and continue running around while typing stratagems in Helldivers 2. So I'm a bit mixed on this one. On one side, for $200, you're getting a plastic keyboard with a sound which isn't that great, so keycaps, not that great either. But on the other hand, the PCB and the firmware and the utility online tool is truly amazing. You can remap all your keys, your actuation points. I didn't have to spend 2 hours finding a new firmware to get my RGB working. Amazing. But if I were to do this again, I'd probably just buy the PCB and get a different case for it. The good news is that there is actually a different case you can get on pre-order on KBD Fan, which is the GT80. It's a bit expensive and you're also gonna have to wait 5 months for it, so definitely not for everybody. Would you buy this keyboard? Let me know. With that, don't forget to subscribe and see ya!